The stars looked different from the observation deck of the UES Defender. Captain Frank Miller stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the vastness of space. His ship patrolled the outer edges of the solar system, near Neptune's orbit. It was supposed to be a routine mission. "Captain, you should see this," called Samantha Wright from her communication station. Her voice had an edge that made Miller turn immediately. Miller walked over to her station. The radar display showed something unexpected. An object moving at impossible speeds, slowing as it approached Neptune. "How long has it been there?" asked Miller. "Just appeared, sir. It's not one of ours." Miller pressed the ship-wide alert button. "All crew to stations. This is not a drill." The UES Defender hummed with activity as crew members rushed to their positions. Lieutenant Joe Barnes took the weapons console, his fingers hovering over the controls. "Keep weapons powered down," ordered Miller. "But ready." The object slowed further, revealing its true form, a sleek vessel with an unusual design that no human had ever created. Its surface shimmered with a metallic purple glow. "First contact," whispered Samantha. "We're witnessing first contact." Miller nodded slowly. "Open a channel on all frequencies. Let's see if they want to talk." For 3 hours, Samantha sent greeting messages in every format imaginable. The alien vessel remained silent, scanning the entire solar system with powerful beams that the Defender sensors could barely track. "They're collecting data on us," said Miller. "Send a message to Earth Command. Priority Alpha." Earth Command responded immediately. Admiral Olivia Pierce's face appeared on the main screen, her expression serious. "We've been monitoring the situation, Captain Miller. Hold your position, but do not engage. I repeat, do not engage." Just as she finished speaking, Samantha's console lit up. "Captain, they're responding." The main screen flickered, showing the humanoid figure with gray-blue skin and large, pupilless eyes. Behind it stood others of its kind, all wearing what appeared to be military uniforms. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, having apparently analyzed their communications. "We are the Valhari Dominion. Your system has been claimed as territory of the Dominion. You will surrender your resources and accept our rule." Miller kept his face neutral despite his shock. "This is Captain Frank Miller of Earth's United Space Fleet. We are a sovereign world and welcome peaceful contact with other species, but we do not surrender to demands." The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "Your primitive vessels and technology pose no threat to the Dominion. We have conquered systems far more advanced than yours. You have no choice." "We always have a choice," Miller replied firmly. The alien commander studied him. "You have 1 Earth week to prepare your leaders for our arrival. Resistance would be unwise." The transmission ended abruptly. Miller immediately contacted Earth Command. Admiral Pierce had already received the transmission. "Return to Earth immediately, Captain," she ordered. "It's time to activate the Jupiter Defense Initiative." "The Jupiter Initiative? It's operational." Miller couldn't hide his surprise. Pierce nodded grimly. "For 10 years now. We always knew this day might come." As the UES Defender changed course for Earth, Miller looked out at the stars again. They still looked the same, but everything had changed. Humanity was no longer alone, and their first neighbors weren't friendly. Back on Earth, Admiral Pierce called an emergency meeting with world leaders. In a secure underground facility, she pulled up classified images on the main screen. "Ladies and gentlemen, for the past decade, we've been building this." The screen showed massive shipyards hidden in Jupiter's shadow, constructing vessels far more advanced than anything publicly known. "How many ships?" asked the UN secretary. "Enough to make the Valhari reconsider their demands," answered Pierce. "Earth won't surrender without showing what we're truly capable of." The Jupiter fleet is ready. In the darkness of Jupiter's shadow, hundreds of ships waited, their crews training for years for this moment. Earth's secret defenders would soon reveal themselves, and the galaxy would indeed watch in awe. The massive hangar door slid open inside Jupiter's shadow. Chief Engineer Alan Blackwood guided Captain Miller through the secret facility. Miller's eyes widened as he saw the true scale of the Jupiter initiative for the first time. "We've been building these for 10 years, Miller asked, watching workers swarm over a warship twice the size of his Defender. Blackwood nodded. "Ever since our deep space telescopes picked up Valhari communications, we knew they were coming eventually." Hundreds of ships filled the hidden shipyards. Some were small and fast, designed for quick attacks. Others were massive battleships with weapons Miller had never seen before. "Why wasn't I told?" Miller asked. "Need to know basis, Captain. Only fleet commanders knew until now." A tall man in an admiral's uniform approached them. His face was stern, with eyes that had seen many battles in Earth's previous conflicts. "Captain Miller, welcome to Jupiter Fleet. I'm Rear Admiral William Sutton." Miller saluted. "An honor, sir. I had no idea this existed." "That was the point," Sutton said with a slight smile. "Follow me to the briefing room. All ship captains are gathering." They entered a large room where 30 men and women in captains' uniforms waited. Miller recognized a few faces, but most were strangers to him. "For a decade, we've trained in secret," Sutton began. "Each of you was selected years ago based on your skills and psychological profiles. You're the best Earth has to offer." The wall screen showed images of the Valhari ship Miller had encountered. The Valhari have conquered 17 star systems. Their pattern is always the same. They arrive, demand surrender, and crush any resistance with overwhelming force. A young woman raised her hand. Her uniform identified her as Lieutenant Commander Patricia Winters of the UES Thunderbolt. "What makes us think we can defeat them when 17 other species couldn't?" she asked. Dr. Heather Mason stood up. Her civilian clothes stood out among the uniforms. "Because we have technology they don't expect from us," she said. She tapped her tablet, and the screen showed a glowing device. "This is a gravity manipulation drive. It lets our ships move in ways that defy normal physics." She swiped to another image. "And these are phase shift shields. When hit by enemy weapons, they shift the energy to another dimension, rather than absorbing or deflecting it." Sutton nodded. "The Valhari expect primitive technology from us. Their scans of our public ships, like the Defender, show exactly what we wanted them to see." Miller understood now. "We let them think we're less advanced than we are." "Exactly," said Sutton. "They expect an easy victory. They'll be careless." The briefing continued with battle plans and ship assignments. Miller would command the UES Defender as part of the front line. His ship would appear to be Earth's best defense, while the Jupiter fleet remained hidden until the perfect moment. As the meeting ended, Miller approached Dr. Mason. "Have these weapons been tested in actual combat?" She shook her head. "Simulations only. You'll be the first to use them against a real enemy." "That's not very reassuring," Miller said. "It wasn't meant to be," she replied honestly. "But our simulations show a 73% chance of success. Those are better odds than doing nothing." Later, as Miller toured his new command, a upgraded version of the Defender with hidden advanced weapons, he watched crews making final preparations throughout the fleet. Men and women worked with purpose, knowing the fate of their world rested on their shoulders. On the observation deck, he stood with Admiral Sutton. "Do you think we can win?" Miller asked. Sutton was quiet for a moment. "I think we can surprise them. Sometimes that's enough to change the course of history." Miller looked out at Jupiter's swirling storms. "The Valhari said we have 1 week before they arrive." "We'll be ready in 5 days," Sutton replied. "And when they come expecting sheep, they'll find wolves instead." Throughout the shipyards, pilots ran final simulations. Engineers tested weapon systems. Communications officers synchronized their networks. The secret fleet that had waited patiently in Jupiter's shadow was awakening, ready to show the galaxy that humanity would not surrender without a fight. 3 days passed faster than anyone expected. The Valhari didn't wait the full week they had promised. A massive ship, 5 times larger than their scout vessel, appeared near Earth's moon. It sat there, a silent threat in the darkness. "They're early," Admiral Pierce said, watching the main screen at Earth Command. "They want to catch us unprepared." Captain Miller stood beside her. His ship, the Defender, had been quickly upgraded with some of the new technology, though it still looked ordinary from the outside. "The Jupiter fleet needs 2 more days," Miller said. "Then we'll buy them 2 days," Pierce replied. She turned to a young man standing nearby. "Lieutenant Hoffman, you're our best linguist. You'll come with me to meet them." Gregory Hoffman nodded. His hands shook slightly, but his voice was steady. "Yes, Admiral." The Valkyrie requested a meeting on their ship. After much debate, Earth's leaders agreed, but insisted it happen on neutral ground, the International Moon Base. Miller watched from the Defender as a small Earth shuttle carried Admiral Pierce and Lieutenant Hoffman to the moon. The Valkyrie sent their own shuttle. Through the Defender's cameras, Miller saw the aliens in person for the first time. They were tall with gray-blue skin and moved with unnatural grace in the moon's low gravity. Inside the base's conference room, Admiral Pierce faced the Valkyrie leader. "I am Ambassador Krulvor of the Valkyrie Dominion," the alien said in that perfect, computer-learned English. "I come to discuss the terms of Earth's surrender." Hoffman translated Pierce's response into the clicking language of the Valkyrie, though Krulvor clearly understood English. "Earth does not surrender," Pierce said simply. "We wish to establish peaceful relations, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." The ambassador's large eyes blinked slowly. "Your species is primitive. Your most advanced ships are barely able to reach your outer planets. The Dominion has conquered worlds far more advanced than yours." Pierce remained calm. "Perhaps you should not judge us too quickly." Krulvor made that strange laughing sound again. "We have scanned your planet thoroughly. We know the exact number and capabilities of your ships. You have 43 space vessels, none of which can match even our smallest fighter." Miller, watching the broadcast, smiled. The Valkyrie didn't know about the ships hidden in Jupiter's shadow. Their scans hadn't penetrated the special shielding. On the moon, Admiral Pierce leaned forward. "Ambassador, I suggest you leave our solar system peacefully." "Or what?" Krulvor asked, amused. "Or you will see what humanity is truly capable of." The ambassador studied her face. "You are bluffing, but your bravery is admirable." He stood. "As a gesture of respect, I will give you 3 more days to prepare your world for our arrival. Then we will take what we need. Those who resist will be eliminated." Hoffman translated carefully, making sure not to miss any nuance in the threat. Pierce stood as well. "You have 48 hours to leave our solar system." Krulvor laughed again, louder this time. "You give us an ultimatum. How amusing." 48 hours, Pierce repeated. "After that, we will consider your presence an act of war." The meeting ended, and both parties returned to their ships. Back at Earth Command, Miller met Pierce as she arrived. "You were right," she told him. "They think we're defenseless." "Will they leave?" Miller asked. Pierce shook her head. "No, they're too confident, but I bought us time. How soon can the Jupiter fleet be ready?" "Admiral Sutton says 36 hours at minimum," Miller replied. "Then we have 12 hours to spare," Pierce said with a grim smile. "Get back to Jupiter. Help them finish preparations." As Miller's ship left Earth orbit, he saw more Valkyrie vessels arriving. They positioned themselves around Earth like wolves surrounding prey. Their confidence was obvious in how carelessly they arranged their ships, not expecting any real resistance. What they couldn't see was the activity happening in Jupiter's shadow. The fleet was almost ready. Engineers worked around the clock. Weapon systems were brought online. Crews prepared for battle. The Valkyrie thought Earth was giving empty threats. In just 36 hours, they would learn how wrong they were. The clock was ticking. 30 hours remained in Admiral Pierce's ultimatum to the Valkyrie. On Earth, People watched the alien ships through telescopes and live video feeds. Most civilians didn't know about the Jupiter fleet. They only saw the Valhari vessels and feared the worst. Captain Victoria Rhodes led evacuation efforts in coastal cities. "Everyone please move calmly to the underground shelters," she announced over loudspeakers in New York. Similar scenes played out in cities worldwide. "Will the shelters protect us if they attack?" a scared mother asked, holding her child's hand. Rhodes gave her most confident smile. "These shelters were built to withstand anything. You'll be safe here." She didn't mention that the shelters might not hold against Valhari weapons. Some hope was better than no hope. In the Jupiter shipyards, the final preparations were underway. Captain Miller watched as crews loaded supplies and weapons onto ships. The largest vessel in the fleet, the UES Defiance, floated at the center of the activity. "Impressive, isn't she?" a voice said behind him. Miller turned to see Captain Jonathan Baker, commander of the Defiance. "Biggest ship I've ever seen," Miller agreed. "Is she ready?" Baker nodded. "Just finished the final system checks. The phase shift shields work perfectly in simulations. Let's hope they work as well in real combat." On the Defiance's weapons deck, Maria Delgado made adjustments to the main plasma cannons. As the lead weapons specialist, she had helped design these weapons specifically to penetrate Valhari defenses. "The targeting systems are calibrated to their hull composition," she explained to Baker and Miller. "Based on the scans from your encounter, these should cut through their ships like butter." "Should?" Miller asked. Delgado shrugged. "Nothing's certain in war, Captain, but I'd bet my life on these cannons." She patted the massive weapon. "And I am betting my life on them." Admiral Sutton called all ship commanders to the Defiance for the final briefing. The room was tense as officers took their seats. 24 hours until the deadline. Sutton began. "The Valhari have ignored our warning. More of their ships arrive every hour." Benjamin Cole, the fleet's intelligence officer, stepped forward. "We've intercepted their communications. They've called for reinforcements, but those ships won't arrive for at least 3 days. We have a window of opportunity." Cole displayed a holographic map showing the positions of Valhari ships around Earth. "They've positioned themselves for an intimidation display, not for actual combat. They don't expect us to fight back effectively." Sutton nodded. "That's our advantage. We'll launch when there are 12 hours left in the ultimatum. The Valhari expect us to use the full 48 hours. Surprising them gives us an edge." He turned to the assembled captains. "Each of you has your assignment. Remember, we need to protect Earth at all costs, but our main goal is to show the Valhari that humans aren't easy prey. We don't need to destroy their entire fleet. We just need to bloody their nose enough that they reconsider their plans for our planet." As the meeting ended, officers returned to their ships. Miller found Lieutenant Commander Winters checking her ship, the Thunderbolt. "Nervous?" he asked. Winters ran her hand along the Thunderbolt's hull. "Excited, actually. We've trained for this for years. I just want to see if all that training paid off." Throughout the fleet, similar conversations took place. Crew members made final calls to family on Earth. Engineers ran last-minute diagnostics. Pilots reviewed flight plans and attack formations. On the Defiance's bridge, Admiral Sutton stared at Jupiter's swirling clouds visible through the main viewport. "For 10 years, we've hidden in this planet's shadow," he said quietly to Baker. "Tomorrow, we step into the light." 12 hours before the deadline, the order came. "All ships, prepare for launch." The massive hangar doors in Jupiter's shadow opened fully for the first time. One by one, Earth's secret fleet emerged. 200 ships of various sizes, all bearing advanced technology the Valhari couldn't imagine humans possessing. The fleet moved into formation, hidden from Earth and the Valhari by Jupiter's bulk. They would circle around the giant planet and approach from an unexpected vector. Earth's true defense force was finally ready for war. The Valhari would soon learn their mistake in underestimating humanity. The Valhari struck first. Without warning, 3 of their warships broke formation around Earth and headed toward Mars. The red planet had only a small human colony of scientists and miners, about 500 people with minimal defenses. "They're testing us," Admiral Pierce said, watching the Valhari ships approach Mars, "seeing how we respond to an attack on our weakest point." Earth had a small defense squadron stationed near Mars, led by Commander Eric Taylor. His 5 ships were older models, not part of the Jupiter fleet. "Mars colony, this is Commander Taylor. Begin emergency evacuation procedures," Taylor ordered as his ships moved to intercept the Valhari. At the colony, alarms blared. People rushed to the emergency shelters dug deep into the Martian soil. A young communications technician named Abigail Foster stayed at her post, sending updates to Earth. 3 Valhari warships approaching. Commander Taylor engaging with 5 ships, she reported, her voice steady despite her fear. Colony evacuation at 60%. The Valhari ships opened fire. Their weapons easily overwhelmed the shields on Taylor's vessels. 2 Earth ships exploded immediately. The 3rd lost engines and drifted helplessly. Taylor's voice came through on the emergency channel. "We can't hold them. Mars colony needs immediate assistance." Foster sent the distress call to Earth Command, knowing help wouldn't arrive in time. The Jupiter fleet was too far away. But Admiral Sutton had anticipated this move. The Valhari always attack the weakest target first, he had told his captains. "We'll have ships waiting near Mars, hidden and silent." As the Valhari ships closed in on Mars colony, 10 vessels from the Jupiter fleet suddenly appeared from behind the planet's smaller moon, Phobos. They had been placed there days earlier, powered down and invisible to Valhari sensors. Lieutenant Commander Alexis Rivera piloted the lead ship, the UES Shadow. Her ship was small but featured the most advanced stealth technology Earth had developed. "All ships, attack pattern Delta," Rivera ordered. "Target their engines first." The Earth ships opened fire with weapons the Valhari had never seen before. The plasma beams cut through Valhari shields as if they weren't there. 1 Valhari ship lost power immediately. The other 2 turned to face this unexpected threat. "How is this possible?" the Valhari commander demanded over an open channel. "Earth has no such technology." From the UES Shadow, Rivera smiled as she maneuvered her ship directly under one of the Valhari vessels. "UES Shadow to Earth Command. Watch this." Her ship fired specialized charges that attached to the Valhari ship's hull. When they detonated, they didn't explode. Instead, they sent electromagnetic pulses through the alien vessel, shutting down its systems completely. The 3rd Valhari ship tried to retreat, but Taylor's 2 remaining vessels blocked its path while Rivera's squadron finished disabling it. At Mars colony, Foster watched in amazement. "Earth Command, the Valhari ships have been neutralized. No casualties at the colony." She paused, then added, "Where did those ships come from?" Admiral Pierce smiled. "It's time to show our hand. Send a message to the Valhari around Earth. Show them what just happened at Mars." The main Valhari fleet received the video feed of their defeated ships. Ambassador Krulivor watched in disbelief as Earth ships he had never seen before disabled his best warships with ease. "Impossible," he whispered. "Their technology is primitive." A new transmission came in. Admiral Sutton, broadcasting from the UES Defiance as the Jupiter fleet rounded the giant planet and came into view. "Valhari Dominion, this is Admiral William Sutton of Earth's United Space Fleet. You have attacked a peaceful colony and violated our ultimatum. The ships you see before you are just a fraction of our true fleet." The camera panned to show the 200 ships of the Jupiter fleet in formation. "We gave you 48 hours to leave our system. You chose not to listen. Now you will see what humanity is truly capable of." The Valhari ships around Earth began to reposition, forming a defensive formation rather than the intimidation display they had maintained before. For the first time, they were taking the humans seriously. "Admiral Zorkath will arrive with our main battle fleet soon," Krulivor sent back. "These few ships mean nothing." "Then we'd better make our point quickly," Sutton replied. "All ships advance on Earth. It's time to show the Valhari who they're really dealing with." The Jupiter fleet approached Earth in perfect formation. The Valhari ships, 30 in total, moved to intercept them. Though outnumbered, the Valhari still believed their technology was superior. They were wrong. The first volleys from Earth's ships tore through Valhari shields. 5 alien vessels lost power in the opening minutes of battle. The others pulled back, regrouping near Earth's moon. "They're adapting to our weapons," Captain Baker noted from the Defiance's bridge. "Their shields are changing frequency." Maria Delgado's voice came through the communication system. "Adjusting plasma cannons now. They can change their shields, but we can change our weapons faster." On Earth, people watched the battle through telescopes and live feeds. Cheers erupted from the underground shelters as they saw Valhari ships retreating. Ambassador Kroliver sent an urgent message to his homeworld. "The humans possess unexpected technology. Request immediate reinforcements." The answer came quickly. "Admiral Zorkath is en route with the main battle fleet. Hold position until arrival." A new transmission reached the Valhari ships, this time from Earth's leadership. President Diana Collins appeared on screen, her expression calm but determined. "This is the President of Earth's United Nations. You attacked our Mars colony without provocation. You threatened our world with conquest. We gave you a chance to leave peacefully. That offer still stands." Kroliver studied the human leader. "You have surprised us, President Collins, but Admiral Zorkath brings 200 more ships. You cannot hope to defeat them all." Collins smiled slightly. "We don't need to defeat them all. We just need to convince you that conquering Earth would cost more than it's worth." The transmission ended. Kroliver looked troubled. No species had ever resisted the Dominion so effectively. On the UES Defender, Miller received a transmission from Mars. It was Officer Foster with an important discovery. "Captain, we've been analyzing the damaged Valhari ship," she explained. "Their shield systems have a weak point when they change frequencies. There's a 3-second window where they're vulnerable." Miller forwarded this information to the fleet. Science Officer Nathan Phillips on the Defiance studied the data carefully. "She's right," Phillips confirmed. "If we time our attacks to that exact moment when they shift frequencies, we can disable their ships with minimal damage." Admiral Sutton called for Fleet Engineer Justin Morgan. "Can we create a signal that forces their shields to change frequency?" Morgan thought for a moment. "Yes, sir. We could modify our sensor arrays to emit a pulse that their shields would interpret as a new weapon. They'd automatically shift to counter it." "Do it," Sutton ordered. "I want every ship equipped with this modification." As engineers throughout the fleet implemented the changes, intelligence gathered more information about the approaching Valhari reinforcements. "Admiral," Benjamin Cole reported, "we've decoded more of their communications. The Valhari have conquered 17 other species using these same tactics. They always follow the same pattern: intimidate, attack the weakest point, then overwhelm with superior numbers." "But they've never faced humans before," Sutton replied. "And we don't follow anyone's patterns." 12 hours after the first engagement, long-range sensors detected the arrival of the Valhari reinforcements. Admiral Zorkath's ship was massive, 3 times larger than any vessel in either fleet. Zorkath opened communications immediately, but not with Earth. He addressed Kroliver, not bothering to hide the transmission from human monitoring. "You were defeated by primitives." His tone was cold with contempt. "Perhaps you are not worthy of serving the Dominion." Kroliver lowered his head. "They hid their true capabilities, Admiral. Their technology is unexpected." Zorkath turned his attention to Earth. "President Collins, I am Admiral Zorkath. Your resistance is impressive but futile. Surrender now and your people will be treated fairly as subjects of the Dominion. Continue to fight, and we will have no choice but to demonstrate our full power." Collins didn't hesitate. "Admiral Zorkath, humanity does not surrender to threats. We have shown only a fraction of our capabilities. Leave our system now, or face the consequences. Zorkath made the Valhari laughing sound. You bluff well, but I see your fleet. You are outnumbered. Prepare to witness the true might of the Valhari Dominion. The Admiral's massive battle fleet moved into attack formation. 200 ships against Earth's fleet of less than half that number. The main battle was about to begin. Admiral Sutton called all ship captains for one final message before battle. The Valhari expect us to fight conventionally, he said. We won't. Form attack pattern Omega. Captains looked at each other in confusion. Attack pattern Omega was considered a terrible strategy in all their training simulations. It created gaps in their defense and left ships isolated. Sir, Captain Baker objected, that formation was proven ineffective in every test. Exactly, Sutton said with a slight smile. The Valhari have studied our transmissions. They've seen our training exercises. They expect us to use proven tactics. Understanding dawned on the captains' faces. They would use a seemingly flawed formation to lure the Valhari into a trap. The Earth fleet spread out in the strange formation. From the Valhari perspective, it looked like humans didn't know basic space combat tactics. Their ships moved to exploit the apparent weaknesses. They're taking the bait, Miller reported from the Defender. Valhari ships are splitting into 3 attack groups. Sutton nodded. Now for Phase 2. Lieutenant Martinez, you're up. Sofia Martinez led a squadron of 12 small, fast fighter ships. They had been hiding in Jupiter's magnetic field, completely invisible to Valhari sensors. Now they powered up and raced toward the battle. Fighter Squadron Alpha, activate gravity drives, Martinez ordered. Her ships accelerated to impossible speeds, jumping between positions faster than the Valhari targeting systems could track. The small fighters darted between the massive Valhari vessels, firing precisely at shield generators. They didn't try to destroy the ships, just disable their defenses. Admiral Zorkath watched in growing frustration. What is this? Their ships move in impossible ways. Meanwhile, Captain Ryan Nelson of the UES Dauntless saw his opportunity. The Valhari had formed a tight formation, focusing their firepower forward. This is Captain Nelson. Executing dive maneuver now. The Dauntless suddenly accelerated straight toward the heart of the Valhari formation. It was a move that seemed like suicide. Valhari commanders redirected weapons to destroy the lone human ship. This was exactly what Nelson wanted. As all Valhari ships targeted the Dauntless, they momentarily neglected their flanks. Shields at maximum, Nelson told his crew. Brace for impact. The Dauntless took multiple hits, but its phase shift shields held. It plunged through the Valhari formation, disrupting their carefully planned attack vectors and causing several alien ships to adjust course to avoid collision. Now, Admiral Sutton ordered. Earth's fleet fired the special pulse that forced Valhari shields to change frequency, followed immediately by concentrated weapons fire during the 3-second vulnerability window. 20 Valhari ships lost power simultaneously. More took serious damage. On the communications deck of the Defiance, Daniel Waters worked quickly. Broadcasting battle footage now, sir. Waters wasn't just sending the video to Earth. He was transmitting to all 17 systems previously conquered by the Valhari. For the first time, subjugated worlds were seeing the mighty Dominion being defeated. Admiral Zorkath raged as he saw his fleet taking heavy damage. This is impossible. Their technology is too advanced. He opened a channel to Earth. Where did you get these weapons? No developing world creates such technology independently. President Collins answered calmly. We built them ourselves, Admiral. Humans are resourceful when threatened. The battle continued for hours. Earth ships took damage, but their strange tactics kept confusing the Valhari. Fighter squadrons appeared from hidden positions. Larger vessels performed maneuvers that defied conventional space combat wisdom. Lieutenant Martinez's voice came through the fleet communication system. Sir, we've disabled the weapons on Admiral Zorkath's flagship. Sutton nodded. Captain Baker, bring the Defiance alongside the Valhari flagship. Let's give the Admiral a closer look at human engineering. The massive Earth vessel moved next to Zorkath's ship. For the first time, the Valhari Admiral could see the true size and power of Earth's premier warship up close. "Admiral Zorkath," Sutton called. "You've lost 60 ships. We can disable the rest. Are you ready to reconsider your opinion of primitive humans?" On screens throughout both fleets and on planets across multiple star systems, everyone waited for the Valhari response. The conquering Dominion had never faced such a decision before. Admiral Zorkath stared at the screen showing the Defiance floating alongside his damaged flagship. His officers waited silently for his decision. The Valhari had never retreated from conquest before. It wasn't in their nature. "This changes nothing," Zorkath finally said. "We still outnumber them. Continue the attack." But his ship captains hesitated. They had watched their best vessels disabled with ease. More importantly, they had seen their admiral's flagship rendered helpless. "Sir," his second-in-command said quietly, "we've lost 63 ships. The humans can target our shield weakness faster than we can adapt. Perhaps we should consider." "Consider what?" "Surrender. The Dominion does not surrender." On the Defiance, Sutton watched the Valhari ships. Some continued firing, but others had stopped, waiting. "They're divided," Baker observed. "Their command structure is breaking down." Sutton nodded. "One more push should do it. All ships, execute final attack plan." Earth's fleet moved with perfect coordination. Each human vessel targeted a specific Valhari ship, firing the pulse that forced shield frequency changes, then striking during the vulnerability window. More Valhari ships lost power. Those still fighting found themselves isolated as their companions drifted helplessly. Finally, after losing more than half his fleet, Zorkath gave the order no Valhari admiral had ever given before. "All ships, cease fire and withdraw to safe distance." Across Earth's fleet, cheers erupted. But Sutton silenced his bridge crew with a raised hand. "It's not over yet. Stay alert." Zorkath opened a channel to the Defiance. "Admiral Sutton, you have fought impressively. The Dominion recognizes Earth's strength. Will you leave our system peacefully?" Sutton asked. Zorkath's large eyes narrowed. "We will withdraw. But know this, the Dominion has many fleets. We could return with 1,000 ships." "You could," Sutton agreed. "But would it be worth the cost? We've shown what we can do, and we haven't shown everything yet." The threat was a bluff, but Zorkath couldn't know that. He studied the human admiral's face, searching for deception. "The Dominion will reconsider Earth's status," he finally said. "We may find more value in trade than conquest." It wasn't a complete victory, but it was enough. The Valhari fleet slowly retreated, gathering their disabled ships with tractor beams. Earth had won its first interstellar battle. 3 days later, an unexpected visitor arrived in Earth orbit. A ship unlike any human or Valhari design. It requested permission to land at the International Space Station. Inside were representatives from 3 different alien species, all former victims of Valhari conquest. "We watched your battle," said Kelnar, a tall being with silvery skin. "For 20 years, we have been slaves to the Dominion. Now they are weakened. Now there is hope." President Collins welcomed the visitors warmly. "Earth stands ready to help all who wish to be free." In the weeks that followed, more ships arrived from distant worlds. The 17 subjugated species had begun to rebel against their Valhari overlords. They looked to Earth for leadership. Admiral Pierce led the diplomatic talks. "We propose an alliance of free worlds," she told the gathered representatives. "Together, we can ensure no species faces conquest again." The agreement they signed became known as the Terran Protection Alliance. Each world would contribute to a combined defense force and share technology. Captain Miller's Defender became the first Earth vessel assigned to patrol beyond the solar system. As he prepared for departure, Admiral Sutton visited the ship. "You're making history, Frank," Sutton said. the first human captain to serve as a galactic peacekeeper. Miller nodded toward his crew, which now included 2 alien officers. None of us expected to be here when we started. Lieutenant Commander Winters received a new assignment as well, training crews from allied worlds in Earth's combat techniques. Her first class included officers from 12 different species. The key to our victory wasn't just technology, she told them. It was unpredictability. Never do what your enemy expects. As Earth stepped onto the galactic stage, the story of the battle at Jupiter spread throughout known space. Many worlds that had feared the Valhari for generations now looked to Earth with hope and admiration. In the shadow of Jupiter, humanity had not only defended itself but changed the course of galactic history. The species that everyone had dismissed as primitive had proven to be the most dangerous of all, not because of their weapons, but because of their creativity, their determination, and their unwillingness to surrender even when facing impossible odds. The galaxy would never be the same again.